The secret of Ilm Ladunni, the hidden knowledge from the divine presence throughout history. True seekers of truth have not been content with mere intellectual knowledge. They have longed for the inner wisdom that transcends books and reasoning, the sacred illumination that God Himself grants to purified hearts. This is what the sages and saints call the divine knowledge that flows directly from the source, without intermediary. It is not learned in words but in silence, not in classrooms but in the heart of the sincere. It belongs to those who have emptied themselves of ego until they become vessels of divine will, the insan Kamil, the perfected human being. In Surah An-Naml 27-40, when Prophet Solomon asked who could bring him the throne of the Queen of Sheba, two responses were given. The first came from a mighty jinn who said, I can bring it to you before you rise from your seat. But the second came from one who possessed knowledge from the book, who declared, I can bring it to you before your glance returns to you. In that instant, the throne appeared before Solomon's eyes. Most classical scholars such as Okirtube, Ibn Kathir, and Al-Talabi identify this man as Asif bin Barkhiya, the wise and righteous minister of Solomon, known for his purity and closeness to God. Yet, many Sufi masters see him as a symbol of the realized human being, one whose heart has become the mirror of divine wisdom, acting purely through the will of God. The phrase Indahu ilmun mina al-kitab means he possessed knowledge from a portion of the book. This is not the knowledge of memorization or scholarly mastery, but the inner understanding of creation itself. It is the awareness of the unseen laws that govern the universe, the comprehension of God's names, Azma Allah, as living realities, not mere recitations. Such knowledge allows one, by divine permission, to act in harmony with the hidden structure of existence. The Sufi tradition calls this Ilm Ladunni, direct knowledge from Allah, unmediated, pure, and transformative. The story contrasts two kinds of power, the power of the jinn and the power of divine knowledge. The jinn, though strong, remains bound by space, time, and effort. His power belongs to the material realm and thus is limited by the laws of nature. But the one who possesses knowledge from the book acts through divine alignment, moving beyond the confines of matter. His act is effortless because it is not his own. It is Goddess will unfolding through him. The jinn sighed before you rise. But the man of knowledge said, before your glance returns, for true spiritual action is instantaneous. It is the expression of divine unity, not individual ability. The possessor of such knowledge, however, is never arrogant. He is defined by humility, purity, and adab, perfect manners, before God and His prophets. Asif bin Barkhiya did not boast of his power. He remained hidden, obedient, and silent, letting the act speak for itself. This is the essence of sacred knowledge. It bows, it never claims. It teaches that wisdom without humility is a curse, and that the first mark of divine knowledge is the death of pride. For the seeker of truth, this story offers a timeless lesson. True spiritual realization. Marifa is higher than magic, intellect, or supernatural strength. The mysteries of the universe are opened only to those who purify themselves from desire, who live in light, and who act solely for the pleasure of God. The knowledge from the book is not information. It is illumination, a radiant awareness that allows the servant to move in harmony with the divine will, so that creation itself responds to his command. Not because he controls it, but because he has become transparent to the will of God. This divine knowledge cannot be reached through study alone. It requires the opening of the inner book, the heart, through Tazkiyatun Nafs, purification of the soul, and Mujahada, spiritual striving. The first step is the purification of intention. One must begin by declaring, O Allah, I seek only to know you and draw near to you. Make me a vessel of your light, not a container for my ego. The seeker who desires power, recognition, or miracles will find only veils, not truth. Next comes the practice of Totskiyatun Nafs, the subtle sins of the heart shown of Riya, self-admiration, ujub, desire for reputation, envy, resentment, and spiritual pride are far more dangerous than outward sins. They corrupt the soul quietly until no light can enter. The remedy is humility, sincerity, and secret devotion. Do good unseen, praise others, pray for your enemies, and hide your virtues. When the ego weakens, the light of Ilm Ladunni begins to dawn. Central to this purification is dhikr, the remembrance of God. Repeating La ilaha, all with full awareness, cleanses the heart from attachment to anything but Him. Whispering astic polishes the soul with divine forgiveness. Contemplating the names of God transforms character. Meditating on Al Halim awakens patience, while Arahim nurtures compassion. Through repetition and reflection, the heart aligns with the rhythm of the divine. Fasting, both physical and spiritual, is also essential. One abstains not only from food and drink, but from negative thoughts, judgment, and ill speech. Reading the Quran becomes an act of listening rather than recitation, asking not merely what does this mean, but what is this verse revealing about my soul? In this way, the Word of God awakens the Word within until the human heart vibrates in harmony with the divine revelation. Silence and solitude are necessary companions on this path. In a noisy world, the seeker must learn to be still. Sitting quietly for even 15 minutes each day, with no speech, no distractions, only remembrance, opens a sacred space within where divine light can descend. This inner stillness is the doorway to revelation. Yet, even with all practice, guidance remains essential. Asif bin Barkhiya himself served under a prophet. Every seeker should learn from a true mercy, a guide who is humble, God-fearing, and spiritually connected through a clear lineage. The true teacher does not attract followers to himself, but directs every heart toward Allah. Ultimately, divine knowledge must be lived. It manifests in honesty, sincerity, justice, and discipline. The one who knows God is truthful even when unseen, humble even when unrecognized, and firm against his own desires. Such a person's life itself becomes a reflection of divine wisdom. But seekers must be warned. Do not pursue miracles or supernatural powers. Those are shadows, not the sun. If God perceives that your heart longs for wonders, He will close the door to truth. Ilm Ladunni is not given to those who seek signs, but to those who seek the sign. In the end, the knowledge from the book is not granted to the impatient or ambitious. It is bestowed upon the patient, the pure, and the selfless, upon those who desire nothing but Allah Himself. It is a light that dawns not in the mind, but in the heart, a knowledge that turns existence itself into remembrance. To possess it is not to have power, but to become peace.